Usually it turns into a total disaster if someone has it.
Oh, I've always done that, and I cut jacks and,
I cut my bangs once and I regret it.
oh, yeah, bangs are another thing. Bangs,
When I was
When
little,
I
I cut my
had my
bangs.
straight
was-
across bangs last year,
I
I
was-
was sure.
yeah.
Straight across.
Those always look nice.
Well, my dad was a barber, maybe it's in my genes, I doubt it, but I don't know. Anyway, anywho, quiz tomorrow, and we were gonna have a school meeting today.
I did that about cats last year.
We were gonna have a school meeting today, but we're putting it off since we're already on a delay. We're gonna have the school meeting tomorrow.
Good.
Don't forget, tomorrow, your fun book money is due. And the only reason I'm saying that out loud is so that I'll remember to turn in Molly's as well, okay? So if you've sold any, or still have some books, whatever, okay? Next month's
Completely
fundraiser is the
forgot.
soap and stuff again,
Oh, I'm so excited.
yeah,
We get samples again.
I hope so.
Just take
I still have a little sample in my car.
It's a good air
Cars smell
freshener.
good, yeah. Okay, Macbeth. Let's get back to it. So, yesterday a little more development in the story. You met Lady Macbeth, who's quite a charmer. And, is very power hungry. At this point in the play, there's not a whole lot of good things you can say about Lady Macbeth or, but however, so far Macbeth himself, he seems like a pretty stand-up guy, right? People have said a few nice things about him, and he's just, being influenced by his wife because she wants him to be king. And right now Duncan is still king. And the witches, though, they act as what in the play? Tell me, for the reader, what is the purpose of the witches?
I was gonna say narrative, but they're not really narrating, but they kinda like lead you through the story and what's happening.
Okay, true. They're kind of like predicting things, prophesizing, fortune teller, backup singers, that's good, okay.
I think of them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
they're kind of like in the background.
That's great.
If you
Yeah.
wanted to make like a silly musical out of this, that'd be a great way to do it.
That would be. Were they in the opera?
Yeah, but they made it like the whole women's chorus, which
Okay.
I didn't particularly like. But I mean, they gotta put the chorus somewhere.
I would like to go see this. There is a movie, of course, that they
We don't know
made
how those
with
turn out.
famous people, but, and it's better done than Grendel, but, or Beowulf. Okay, so I have us stopped at 20 and 21.
No, I think we're way.
Are we?
Yeah, we
Maybe
moved.
that's just where I stuck my
That was
Or
the
42.
other day.
vocab book.
Yeah, 22.
Oh, yeah. Now it's the big long, okay, gotcha. It was after after Paige read the long part.
It's not
Right,
even done.
okay. Okay, at the top of 42, you think? Where Macbeth says, let's just start there. Macbeth says, how now, what news?
How now? What news?
He has almost supped. Why have you left the chamber?
Hath he asked for me?
Know you not he has?
We will proceed no further in this business. He hath honored me of late, and I have brought golden opinions from all sorts of people, which would be worn now in their newest gloss, not cast aside so soon.
Was the hope drunk wherein you dressed yourself? Hath it slept since? And wakes it now to look so green and pale at what it did so freely? From this time, such I account thy love. Art thou afeard to be the same in thine own act and valor as thou art in desire? Wouldst thou have that which thou esteemest the ornament of life, and live a coward in thine own esteem, letting I dare not wait upon I would, like the poor cat in the adage?
Okay, look over to the right. She says, were you drunk when you seemed so hopeful before? Have you gone to sleep and woken up green and pale in fear of this idea? From now on, this is what I'll think of your love. Are you afraid to act the way you desire? Will you take the crown you want so badly, or will you live as a coward, always saying, I can't, after you say, I want to? You're like the poor cat in the old story. What is she, how does that make him feel when she says that?
She's putting him down.
Yeah.
And he doesn't like that.
Right, she's putting him down, and I think she's hoping that that will build him up in some way. A lot of people do that as a tactic to motivate people, don't they? Put them down, but at the same time, it's supposed to build them up. So, okay, Macbeth,
Prithee, peace. I dare do all that may become a man. Who dares do more is mine.
What beast was then that made you break this enterprise to me? When you durst do it, then you were a man. And to be more than what you were, you would be so much more than a man. Nor time nor place did then adhere, and yet you would make both. They have made themselves, and that their fitness now does unmake you. I have given suck, and now how tender 'tis to love the babe that milks me. I would, while it was smiling in my face, have plucked my nipple from its boneless gums, and dashed the brains out, and had I so sworn as you have done to this.
wow.
If we should fail,
We fail, but screw your courage to the sticking place, and will not fail. When Duncan is asleep, whereto the rather shall his day's hard journey soundly invite him, his two chamberlains will I with wine and wassail so convince that memory, the warder of the brain shall be a fume, and the receipt of reason a limbic only. When in swinish sleep their drenched natures lie as in death, what cannot you and I perform upon the unguarded Duncan? What not put upon his spongy officers, who shall bear the guilt of our great quell?
Okay, I want to speak to her character again by reading the two parts on the right. And if you go one step further by doing what you dared to do before, you'll be that much more the man. The time and place weren't right before, but you would have gone ahead with the murder anyhow. Now the time and place are just right, but they're almost too good for you. I have sucked a baby, and I know how sweet it is to love the baby at my breast. But even as the baby was smiling up at me, I would have plucked my nipple out of its mouth and smashed its brains out against a wall if I had sworn to do that the same way you have sworn to do this. And then he suggests that it doesn't work, and she's like, we fail? If you get your courage up, we can't fail. When Duncan is asleep, the day's hard journey has definitely made him tired. I'll get his two servants so drunk that their memory will go up in smoke through the chimneys of their brains. When they lie asleep like pigs, so drunk they'll be dead to the world. What won't you and I be able to do to the unguarded Duncan? And whatever we do, we can lay all the blame on the drunken servants. So she's evil. Okay? She's got a plan, and her analogies are even evil. Okay, Macbeth.
bring forth men children only, for they undaunted metal should compose nothing but males. Will it not be received when we have marked with blood those sleepy two of his own chamber, and used their very daggers that they have done it?
Who dares receive it other, as we shall make our griefs and clamor roar upon his death?
I am settled, and bend up each corporal agent to his terrible feat. Away and mock the time with fairest show. False face must hide what the false heart doth know.
So he says, now I'm decided, and I will exert my every muscle in my body to commit this crime. Go now and pretend to be a friendly hostess. Hide with a false pleasant face what you know in your false evil heart. Right, okay, and that was Act 1. Okay, so, is everybody understanding Act 1 so far? Understand what's going on? Okay, and what do you think of the Shakespeare language? Are you able to,
It's hard for me to follow.
okay,
I can kind of follow.
huh?
I
You
can
can kind of,
follow.
yeah,
Oh.
yeah,
Also, I can't ever pay attention when I read out loud. It's a lot easier for me to read it in my head and
Okay.
figure out what's going on.
Okay.
So like if I go back and read like the Shakespeare part in my head, I can like figure it out. But
Okay.
reading it out loud, like I'm just focused on what I'm saying, so
Okay.
I'm not paying attention.
gotcha. So, is the No Fear book helping you? You're going, okay, good. And that's why I stop now and then and read part of the No Fear, because I think it really makes it easier and come to life that way. Putting putting it in our language. Holly?
I feel like if we would have had this for Hamlet, I would have been able to understand it more. So I think this is really helpful and beneficial to
I
have
think so
it.
too. And that way you have both, and also, you know, he leaves off some letters, you know, like in and it and to and even and over, right? And if you look over to the right, you can start to apply those to your reading and pick up on some of this language, right? Okay, so, they have a plan, right? They have an evil plan, and let's continue on with Act Two. Do we wanna keep, who's Banquo? Okay, Holly. We need, Fleance. Matt? Or who hasn't read? Who hasn't read? Marnie, have you read?
I don't know for a while, I guess I was one of
Let me see who else we have. It's Macbeth and Banquo for a while. Okay, go ahead for scene one here.
How goes the night, boy?
The moon is down, I have not heard the clock.
And she goes down at 12?
I take it 'tis later, sir.
Hold, take my sword. There's husbandry in heaven. Their candles are all out. Take thee that too. A heavy summons lies like lead upon me. And yet I would not sleep. Merciful powers, restrain in me the cursed thoughts that nature gives way to in repose.
Oh, is that right?
That's
Mhm.
Banquo.
Oh, give me my sword. Who's there?
A friend.
What, sir? Not yet at rest? The king's abed. He hath been in unusual pleasure, and set forth great largesse to your offices. This diamond he greets your wife withal, by the name of most kind hostess, and shut up in measureless content.
Being unprepared, our will became the servant to defect, which else should free have wrought.
All's well. I dreamt last night of the 3 weird sisters. To you have they showed some truth?
I think not of them. Yet when we can entreat an hour to serve, we would spend it in some words upon that business if you would grant the time.
At your kindest pleasure, leisure.
If you shall plead to my consent, when 'tis it shall make honor for you.
So I lose none, in seeking to augment it, but still keep my bosom franchised and allegiance clear. I shall be counselled.
Good repose the while.
Thanks, sir. The like to you.
Go bid thy mistress when my drink is ready. She strike upon the bell. Go thee to bed. Is this still, yes, one. Is this a dagger which I see before me, the handle toward my hand? Come, let me clutch thee. Jeez. I have thee not, and yet I see thee still. Art thou not fatal vision, sensible to feeling as to sight? Or art thou about a dagger of the mind, a false creation, proceeding from the heat oppressed brain? I see thee yet, and from as palpable as this which now I draw. Thou marshallest me the way that I was going, and such an instrument I was to use. Mine eyes are made the fools of the other senses, or else worth all the rest. I see thee still, and on thy blade in dungeon gouts of blood, which was not so before. There's no such thing. It is the bloody business which informs thus to mine eyes. Now o'er the one half world nature seems dead, and wicked dreams abuse the curtained sleep. Witchcraft celebrates pale Hecate's offerings and withered murder. Alarum? Sorry, I don't know what that means. Okay.
Alumed. I don't know either. I'll have to look that up.
Okay. By a sentinel of the wolf, who howls his watch, thus with the stealthy pace, with Tarquin's ravishing strides towards his design, moves like a ghost. Thou sure in form set earth, hear not my steps, which way they walk, for fear the very stones prate of my whereabout, and take the present horror from the time which now suits with it. Whilst I threat he lives, words to the heat of deeds to cold breath gives. I go and it is done. The bell invites me. Hear it not, Duncan, for it is a knell that summons thee to heaven or to hell.
Okay, so what does he say there in his little speech?
It's kind of starting to feel guilty.
Yeah. Yeah, he said, it's the murder I'm about to do that's making me think I see one, an apparition. Now half the world is asleep and being deceived by evil nightmares. Witches are offering sacrifices to their goddess Hecate. Old man Murder, having been roused by the howls of his wolf, walks silently to his destination, moving like Tarquin. And if you look in the fine print there, Tarquin was not a good person. Hard ground, don't listen to the direction of my steps. I don't want you to echo back where I am and break this terrible stillness of this moment, a silence that is so appropriate for what I'm about to do. While I stay here talking, Duncan lives. The more I talk, the more my courage cools. I'm going now. The murder is as good as done. The bell is telling me to do it. Don't listen to the bell, Duncan, because it summons you either to heaven or to hell. So, he's going to do it. Okay, Act 2, Scene 2. Let's, do we want to keep the same readers, or does someone want to give up their part and let somebody else read?
Someone want Macbeth? I'm fine with doing it, it's just if someone wants a chance, like, I don't.
You want it, Erin? Okay,
Go for it.
Erin, Macbeth. Marnay, you want to be Lady Macbeth?
Do you want to keep that same part?
I don't care.
I could be for a while.
It's up to you guys. If you want to keep it, Erin, that's fine.
Doesn't matter to me.
Okay, all right, so,
I'll just, yeah.
you want to? Okay, go ahead.
The which hath made them drunk, hath made me bold. What hath quenched them, hath given me fire. Hark, peace! It was the owl that shrieked, the fatal bellman, which gives the sternest good night. He is about it. The doors are open, and the surfeited grooms do mock their charge with snores. I have drugged their process. The death and nature do contend about them, whether they live or die.
Who's there? What ho?
Alas, I am afraid they have awakened. It is not done. The attempt and not the death confounds us. Hark! I laid their daggers ready. He could not miss 'em. Had he not resembled my father as he slept, I had done it. My husband.
I have done the deed. Didst thou not hear a noise?
I heard the howl scream and the crickets cry. Did not you speak?
When?
The alcohol that got the servants drunk.
No,
has-
turn the page.
So I didn't make sense. Now,
As I descended.
I,
Hark, who lies? Thy second chamber.
Donalbain,
This is a sorry sight.
a foolish thought to say a sorry sight.
There's one did laugh in his sleep, and one cried murder. What they did wake each other. That they did wake each other. I stood and heard them. But they did say their prayers and addressed them again to sleep.
There are two lodged together.
One cried, God bless us, and amen. The other, as they had seen me with these hangman's hands,
Listening, that stands for listening.
Okay.
Yeah.
Their fear I could not say amen when they did say, God bless us.
Consider it not so deeply.
But wherefore could not I pronounce amen? I had most need of blessing, and amen stuck in my throat.
These deeds must not be thought after these ways, so it will make us mad. Just.
No, it's,
Methought I heard a voice cry, sleep no more. Macbeth does never sleep, the innocent sleep. Sleep that knits up the reveled sleep of care, and the death of each day of life. So they perspire, vellum of hurt minds, great nature's second course, chief nourisher.
the bell ring. Okay. All right, so they did the deed.
Yay.
Come Mark, hey.
I've committed murder.
Yep, you have,
Let's all
okay.
celebrate.